From the Borough at Athletic Park in Wausau, Wisconsin, it's Chucking It Up with Eric and Dan.
Welcome back to Chucking It Up, episode 12.
Yeah, today we got another great episode for you. We're going to the Ignite side of things today and have a interview with the Ignite catcher, Mia Johnson. Another great interview. I know I say about every interview, but they're all great, and this one is no exception. So as usual, we're going to just run through the last week's scores for the Ignite and the Chucks, and then we'll send you over to the interview with Mia Johnson.
Yeah, so we can just start out on Thursday, July 3rd versus the Nightmares. The Ignite lost 0-8. And they only had 3 games this week because they had that 4-day break, I think it was.
Yeah, they were off for like 4 days, and then they had a doubleheader where the second one was rained out. But, then they played on the 4th of July in Madison since the Chucks were using Athletic Park. And they lost that one as well, 0-6.
And July 5th, so yesterday, they did have a doubleheader versus Team. In Game 1, they got walked off and lost 10-11. And then Game 2, they were leading in the third, 5-1, when it got postponed and rescheduled to a later date.
Yeah, and I think they pick up right where they left off.
Yes.
Is that right?
So they're in a good spot when that picks up.
So whenever they get that game in, we'll start with the lead. And, so only 3 games this week for the Ignite. Lost all 3 of them. But
Madison's a nightmare. They're really good. So.
Yeah, but that's okay. We'll just have to rebound, and
they will.
Yeah,
they were coming off a 5 or 6 game win streak, I think.
Yeah, and again, being the first season, you'll have your ups and downs. And you'll hear in the Mia interview, she kind of tells us that the playoffs work where the top 2 teams make it and just, I guess, face off. Winner wins it. And with only being 5 teams, there's still a chance that the Ignite can do it. They can still get in there. So
a lot of season
don't
left.
Lose hope yet. Yeah, don't lose hope yet.
All right, and then we can go to the Chucks. We'll start out Monday, July 30th, the last game of the first half. They swept Kenosha 7-4. So they end the first half with a sweep of the Kingfish.
Right, kind of took the crown from the Kingfish, King Chucks, with that sweep. Good way to end the first half. And then we start fresh. Records reset for the second half on July 1st against the Kalamazoo Growlers. Took care of them 7-6 to start the second half with a win.
And then we go to Wednesday. Kalamazoo is still in town. Must be the week of the sweep because we sweep the Growlers as well. We win 9-4 in Game 2.
Yeah, continue the good start to the second half. Then we had to take a little road trip down south to face the team down south, which we don't mention. Unfortunately, had a rough one there and lost 3-9.
But as we know, the boys all year long, they bounce back real quick. Friday, July 4th, before the actual fireworks, they provided their own fireworks. First, the team down south, and they walked it off with an 8-7 win.
Yeah, an absolutely incredible game on the 4th of July. Great ending. Loaded
the borough
the bases
was packed.
The
atmosphere there was incredible. We need that every home game because that showed we can do it, Wausau. We need to pack the borough every home game like that. That atmosphere was wild.
Crowd was cheering. The pop with the walk-off win was crazy. On the 4th of July, everyone was decked out in their red, white, and blue. It was a very good atmosphere. Loaded the bases in the bottom of the 9th. Didn't even get an out.
I don't think it was a coincidence that the largest crowd at the Borough and in the 9th, a tie game, their pitcher was rattled the whole inning because the crowd was not quiet 1 second. That's not a coincidence. It mattered. A home field advantage matters.
No, and I know a lot of people were there too for the fireworks show after the game. But I hope they all saw how good the Woodchucks are and get them to come back for more than just fireworks.
Right, and if you are there for just the fireworks, I believe they do them 5 other times throughout the year. So it should be packed like that 6 times a year.
Yeah, and if we could just rattle the pitcher every game and just make the Borough like a really tough place to play and make pitchers not want to be able to pitch there and players not want to play there, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we jumped out to a 5-run first, 5-0. Then they got some of those runs back, but then they pulled their pitcher in the first inning before he even got an out. We got 5 runs. He didn't get a single out, and they were out there pulling him already. We had a quick first inning. Second inning, they got those runs back, and Corey could have easily done the same thing.
He could have pulled Potts. His confidence in Potts that night was incredible. He trusted his guy, and it paid off.
Yeah. And
but
then
that Rogers for Madison, I'm going to tip my cap. 3 home runs. He's the second Northwoods player to hit 3 home runs this year. Noah Malone was the first one for the Chucks.
On his birthday.
Both in the Borough, though, so maybe they're in a home run ballpark.
Yeah. So, yeah, Corey had confidence in Potts and just let him go, and it worked out. We had Landon come in, who was just doing incredible, and it just, they got us to the 9th. And, SJ took care of business and brought it home on the 4th of July. So, and then that fireworks show afterwards just hit differently after that walk-off win. So,
it was
incredible, awesome. Incredible holiday, 4th of July at the Borough. But then, the next day, the 5th, the winners of the first half, already in the playoffs, the Green Bay Rockers came to town.
We were in Green Bay.
At Green Bay. I have that listed here. I just read it wrong. So we went to Green Bay and lost a close one.
Heartbreaker. I was watching it. We were leading the whole way through. And then we just let it slip through. Sucks, but it's baseball.
Yeah, you'll have that. But, we rebounded the next day.
Yeah, we rebounded. We rebounded 10 today. We 10-1. Our offense was just on fire from the start. So that's a 5-2 week. You can't beat that. If we can go 5-2 the rest of the year during the week, we'll be in the playoffs for sure. So great start to the second half. 4-2, because one of the games we read was the last one in the first half. But we started second half off 4-2, and we're in first right now. So we got to keep it that way.
Just got to keep the momentum going, and hopefully can bring it home in the second half and make it to the playoffs.
From what I've seen, I like some of the pitchers we've added for the second half. We lost a lot. It hurts. We lost a lot of good arms. But I think knowing Corey, he brought in a lot of good arms back for the second half, and we're ready to chase that title.
Yeah, you'll see some new faces out there. You'll miss some old faces. Some guys left. Got some new guys in, but keep it rolling. Friend of the pod, Sam Nitsky, was out for a little bit, but he's back, feeling good. Pitched Saturday.
He had a 40-pitch limit on Saturday, or at least that's what I think, because he had 40 pitches and got pulled. So I think they're ramping him back up. So you'll probably see Sam go a little bit longer his next outing.
Yeah, and we talked to him on the 4th at the Borough, and he said he's feeling good. So look forward to Sam pitching more.
And Woodchucks, if you hear this, Jake Birkland would really love to cut his sleeves off if that's possible. I'm just trying to help a guy out.
Yeah, Jake doesn't like his sleeves, so we'll see.
Could probably bring back the Reds, Orioles, when they had just the cutoffs. Jake would love those.
Yeah. And, just want to say one thing, too. You see our hats here. Had a lot of questions about those. We got some in. We got a limited run of hats in that we are going to be for sale. Give you a little sneak preview here if you're listening. If you listen tomorrow, these will be going for sale Tuesday morning. That will be the 8th. So if you're listening, you'll know and watch for that on Tuesday the 8th. If you listen to this after the 8th, they probably will be gone because we've had a lot of interest and we don't have a ton. So I'm guessing they will go quick.
Doesn't mean we won't order more, but
No, but
for
this
this
first
limited
run
run.
is limited. We've already sold a few here to people who caught us early, but yeah, we'll be posting those in first come first serve on Tuesday morning, the 8th. We'll put those for sale.
Yep. And then before we get you off the great interview, please don't forget to subscribe to the pod. Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen, just hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, that helps us out a ton. So you want to support us, that is one way that really helps us. And yeah, follow us on your favorite platform and subscribe and all that.
Yep, but we love the support we already have. It's great. But we're going to kick you off to Mia Johnson. Great interview. Hear more about the Ignite. Just like you did with Jasmine, you're going to learn a whole lot more. And you're going to see that Mia has a lot of confidence. But we'll kick it off to Mia. We'll see ya. Joining us next on the pod is one of the best hitters in the Northwoods League and one of the leaders of your Wassa Ignite. It's Mia Johnson.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, welcome to Chucking It Up. I have to say we've had a lot of good athletes on here, but you're probably one of the most decorated athletes we've had. Just doing a little research, like outside of probably Jasmine, you and Jasmine have had the longest like pages of notes that we've taken so far.
100%.
Yeah, so we can just get right into it here. So yeah, back in high school, I see you played softball and basketball.
Yep. Yeah.
You were really good at both.
Yeah, it was all right.
What position did you play in basketball?
I was a guard. Yeah. One of my favorite things about basketball was I was really good at setting people up. So that was one of my favorite things to do.
And when did you decide that you were just going to focus on softball?
Kind of probably my sophomore year of high school, I kind of started to get like into the recruiting process for softball, and I kind of always thought that I was a little bit better at softball, so I kind of tried to pursue that. And then later on, when I was a junior in high school, I kind of started to think like I want to play basketball in college. And then I tore my ACL that summer, so that didn't really end up working out. So kind of went on the softball track, which I'm very happy with.
I see you're a pretty good student yourself.
Yeah, pretty decent. I'm a sport management major, so the classes aren't, super challenging, but they're definitely super helpful for the career path I want to go into. So.
And you were conference champions in basketball all 4 years of high school?
We were. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think 2016 was the last time before we got there that they won conference, and they were okay. They were an okay team, so it was pretty cool. We had 5 freshmen my freshman year who made varsity, and I think two freshmen started, and all 5 played a super huge role. So like as we progressed like into, going into senior year, we were a pretty solid team, pretty experienced.
Yeah, and I saw you. So you were the team MVP one year and first team all conference.
Yeah, was that basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basketball?
we're still on.
Yeah. I think that was probably my junior year. That was a pretty good year for me. Like I said, that was when I kind of started to think like I could play in college, but obviously didn't work out. But yeah, that was a pretty solid year.
So I see you're at UW Parkside. Were there a lot of other offers?
Not really. It was kind of a tough time because that like in the big summer for softball for recruitment is kind of like your junior year, like sophomore year, summer. But it was COVID that year, so the coaches weren't actually allowed to go out and recruit. It was kind of tough, because I played on a like small team, like the organization doesn't even exist anymore, so it was kind of hard to get a lot of interest. So there wasn't really a ton of other offers, but I'm very glad with where I ended up.
So did you not play your freshman year?
That was my question.
Or like not a lot?
At Parkside?
Yeah.
No, I played almost every game.
Oh, you just took a big jump your sophomore year?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I think I was first team for at Parkside, but I honestly didn't really think I had like a super great year, like personally. But I mean, first team is nothing to
Right.
shrug your shoulders
Yeah.
at. But then yeah, my sophomore year, I took a pretty big jump. Kind of just got a little bit more like confident in playing at the college level, and a little bit more comfortable, like playing with my team, and kind of got used to like what it takes to be a good and solid college.
Is there a big difference between the high school game and the college game of softball?
I would say it's definitely a lot faster. The girls, especially like I play Parkside is D2, so like all the girls are athletic, strong, fast. So that's definitely a difference for sure. Because in high school, you you just kind of show up for practice and games, but in college you have like weights and practice every single day for like 9 months or something like that. So it's a little bit different for sure.
And you were an infielder before you started catching?
Yes. Going into Parkside, mostly like my primary position was catcher, and then my secondary was shortstop. And then once I got to Parkside, we already had like a couple shortstops who were ahead of me, and we didn't really have a third baseman. So my coach moved me over to third. So my first time playing third was actually just a couple years ago, and that has worked out so far. Yeah, I don't really catch too much at school, so it's kind of nice having a couple more innings behind the plate here in Wausau.
Do you prefer one over the other?
Not really, truthfully. I just like to play, so whatever gets me on the field.
So when you were um, going out of like into college and there wasn't really the Northwoods League, what would you have done in the summer? Were there other options?
So after my freshman year of college, I actually played another summer with my travel ball team. So I had another summer because it's like weird with like the birthdays and like what level you can play at and whatever. So I was able to play another summer with them, which was super awesome because I played with them since I was 10. So that was like our 10th season together, so that was really cool. And then last summer, there's another league in Wisconsin called the Land O'Lakes, which they also have that for baseball. I'm not sure if I don't know how if you guys have heard of that or not,
Yeah,
but
I've never heard of that.
yeah, it's a much smaller league for sure. So that's just like a double header every Sunday, and the competition is not nearly as good. So that's what I did last summer until I played in Madison for a couple weeks at the end.
With the Nightmares?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. So how did they find you, the Nightmares, to play those couple weeks?
So the coach, there's a new coach this year, but the coach from last year, he reached out actually at the beginning of the summer, but like I said, like I was already committed to playing in a league, and I had kind of an internship lined up. So I ended up telling him that I wasn't going to play that summer, but then they had a catcher leave. I'm not sure if she went back to school or whatnot, but so he reached out again, and like I was kind of following the league because I had a teammate from Parkside who was playing in Madison last summer, and so like I was kind of like watching for her, and it just looked awesome. So once I got a second chance, I definitely wasn't going to turn it down again.
So would you have returned to Madison if they didn't have the coaching change?
I'm not sure honestly. I don't really know how that would have worked out, but I'm super glad I'm in Wausau. It's been an awesome experience.
Did you know Jasmine, who Jasmine was before you joined the Ignite?
Um, I wouldn't have known like the name, but we did actually play her my freshman year. She was a fifth year at St. Cloud State, so we did play her, and she actually she broke the RBI record against Parkside. So that's awesome. Yeah. So we did end up playing each other, but like, I didn't really know who she was before Wausau.
And how did you get like to play for Wassa? Did she reach out to you, or how did that come about?
So there's an application that you can like sign up for. So I put my name in there, and she was actually the first coach to reach out to me. And then we just had a phone call, and I pretty much after the phone call, I pretty much had already decided like I was gonna play in Wausau.
Are there a lot of girls from Parkside in the Northwoods League?
There's not. So, like I said last year, one of my friends was in it from Parkside. I'm the only one this year, except there is a pitcher from Parkside who played a couple games, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Ellie Curtis, she pitched a couple games, and she's going to be coming back for a couple games in the second half of the season.
So like I know for like the Woodchucks, like players will like leave after the first half. They have to go to school, stuff like that. Come in after the first half, stuff like that. Is that the same in softball?
So you have an option of doing like you can do a full season contract, or you can do a half season, or there's like a 7 game contract, like a temporary contract. So we only have a couple girls who are doing half a season. Otherwise, for the most part, pretty much everyone is going to be here for the full season. And then I think we have a couple girls coming in for just the second half.
How was the schedule change for you? Because you play a lot more in the Northwoods League than college season.
It's definitely an adjustment for sure. I mean, even just like the game days itself, because like we're going off of the baseball like pregame schedules. I mean, we show up to games like 4.5 hours early, which is completely different than like in college where you show up maybe 2 hours early. I mean, I like it a lot, and I really enjoy playing softball. So I mean, we have a 4 day break right now, so we're on our second day off, and honestly, I wish we were playing still. But yeah, it's been an adjustment for sure. Just the other day, we came back from lacrosse, and we got back probably like at 1, and we had to leave to go to Madison the next day at 7:30 in the morning. So that's tough for sure.
What did you think of Athletic Park when you first saw it?
So I saw like pictures online, obviously, because they had just like redone their field, the turf, and then, but I mean, the pictures do nothing, like don't do it justice for like when you first like walk on the field. It's an awesome place to play, and I love the field for sure. I really Molly and our teammate Molly and Wausau, we talk about how we like that the stands are kind of above the field and they're not like right behind you, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the stadium, I really enjoy the stadium.
So have you gone to any Northwoods League baseball games before?
I think when I was like in elementary school, I went to a Chinooks game because that's like I think in Mequon, so that's pretty close to where I'm from. I think there was like a little league like field trip or something. I think I went to that.
Yeah, so you have a brother Max that plays baseball.
Yep, he actually just finished his freshman year also at Parkside.
Is he gonna come play for the Woodchucks?
I think he would love to play for the Woodchucks if that opportunity came to him.
What position does he play?
He's an outfielder. He's an amazing outfielder. Yeah, my favorite thing is watching him base run. He's an amazing base runner.
How is that being at the same school with your brother?
It's a little bit weird just because I mean, we're only 2 years apart, so our whole lives we kind of had like honestly the same kind of friend group a little bit, so that's a little bit like weird, but it's nice like having him there, and we've gotten a little bit closer like being at the same school, which is nice too, and I know my parents really enjoy having us both at the same school too.
So how did you become such a good hitter?
Honestly, I would probably say my dad has worked like with me with hitting for my whole life. He was my coach since I played baseball even before softball, so he was my coach even since then, and he's always worked with me with my swings. I mean, pretty much everything that I know is from him.
Did your parents play baseball, softball?
My dad played baseball and football in high school, but he didn't play in college. And then my mom did not play sports.
So was it cool hitting the first home run in Wausau Ignite history?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was 2-0, so I was just kind of looking for something good to hit, and she gave me a meatball right over the middle of the plate. So I was honestly kind of happy I was the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, I was at that game, and like we've heard a lot about you, even from Jasmine.
Oh,
And I was
she
like,
loves
well.
you. She raves
Yeah.
about you.
And we're like,
Yeah,
I was like, you
she's
came
awesome.
up, and I was like, I've heard that this girl's pretty good, and then you crank that one. I was like, yeah, so she is really good. And then you hit another one later in the game. So I'm like, yeah, so
Yeah,
the hype is real.
that was a super fun game. I mean, the stands were like full. I think they actually had to open up like another section of seating, which was super cool, and like the crowd was into it. And uh, I live with Molly, and we went back to our house, and we were just like shaking from like how exciting it was and like how fun like the environment was. It was awesome.
Was that one of the bigger crowds you've played in front of?
Yeah, I would say I don't know the exact amount. I would say it's probably one of the bigger ones. I know last year in Madison for one of our last games, I think there was like 1,200 people. So it's probably between like those two, I would say. But like I said, I don't know the like exact amount, but it was a good crowd.
Yeah, I think I looked it up before. I think the Ignite average like 450 to 500.
Especially for the
Yeah,
first year.
For a brand new
Yeah,
team, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Madison's obviously the top, but
Yeah.
how do you guys like stick together as a team? Like, I know there was a rough stretch there. You guys are on the up now, but like
Yeah.
when you're going through all those losses where you're getting pummeled on the scoreboard, like how do you guys keep it together?
I mean, we kind of talk about it like after the games. I mean, it obviously sucked.
Right.
Nobody wants to be on like the losing end of a blowout, but we, I mean, we have only known each other for a couple weeks now. I mean, the first time we all met each other was I think like June 6th was our report date, and like even just knowing each other a couple weeks, like we're all like super close. So I mean, I think that definitely helps. Like just we enjoy being around each other. So I mean, even like when we're getting blown out, it's a lot easier to come back and like want to keep showing up for like people that you care about and like people you like want to be around. So I would say it's definitely like the people for sure has made it so much easier to keep playing.
Well, I think if you guys keep it rolling, you're gonna end the season on a great note.
Yeah, I think so. We're like you said, I think we're definitely on the come up here, and I don't think it helped playing Madison 4 times in a row at the
Right.
beginning.
yeah.
But we don't control the scheduling. We only control how we play. But yeah, I think we're definitely gonna win a lot more games.
Well, yeah, and it had to be because like everyone was in the same spot. No one had played in Wassa before. Even like Jasmine was new too, so like everyone was starting at the same spot. So that had to help kind of with that chemistry, I guess, because it's not like there was a returning players or anything like that.
Yeah, it it was crazy like how fast everybody clicked with each other. I mean, I'm not always the most like open person when I first meet people, but I mean, I just felt like right away like I could just be like myself around these girls, and it's been awesome.
Are there other girls on the team that played last year as well in the league?
There's two other girls, so Riley Stiles and Val. They both played last year. Riley played in Mankato, and then Val played in lacrosse.
Speaking of Riley, so what I've noticed, we're not familiar with softball at all. How can these pitchers pitch like day after day, it seems? But in baseball, they need like 5 days rest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not obviously a pitcher either,
Right.
but it's just a little less taxing on the arm, I would say. Just like the motion being underhand versus overhand, which I know there is a pitch count. I don't know the exact pitch count, but there's like, I think it's like 200 or something in 2 days. So it kind of it's a little hard having only three pitchers, four pitchers right now, but we're getting a couple more, which I hope.
That's crazy. Because I host Woodchucks, and there's like 20 of them on the roster. And you're like, yeah, we got 3 of them.
Yeah,
It's wild.
yeah. I mean, they have more pitchers than I
Right.
think we have people on the team, which is funny.
Have you guys had like any position players pitching since you have just so few pitchers?
We have not. We had a couple girls say they would pitch if we really needed them to, but I don't I don't think that would have worked out super well.
Have you ever pitched?
When I started playing softball when I was 10, I think I pitched for like a week, and then we kind of figured out that was not for me.
So do you catch any like specific like pitchers where they're like, yeah, I want Mia to be my catcher? Or is it just, it doesn't matter like that?
Not in Wausau. My freshman and sophomore year at Parkside, there was a pitcher, and her name was Casey Schickel, and I always caught for her like in our pitching and catching practices, and we would always joke like if somebody else like asked me to catch for them, I would have to say like, sorry, I'm catching for Casey, like that sort of thing. But not anymore, and not in Wausau right now.
So, do you have any like, um, is there any athletes that you look up to, whether it's softball or just any sport?
Yeah, I don't like our broadcaster Spencer actually asked me a similar question. He asked like if I model my game after anyone. I don't. But I do really look up to Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Bucks. Similar to what I was telling Spencer, like I really admire like his leadership and like how he leads the Bucks, and just like I mean he's such a huge name and he's such like a humble guy, and like the things he says, like especially like after they lose, like the famous one is like there's like you don't like fail or whatever, like you just take steps and success, and like just things like that, like the way he leads his team is really admirable, and so I really look up to him.
Do you have a favorite baseball team?
Um, I'm not honestly a super like huge baseball watcher, but obviously the Brewers. Since I'm from like the Milwaukee area, there's about like 10 minutes away from where I live, so I'd probably say the Brewers. I like going to games like when we're at school. We'll go to my roommates and I will go to a couple games, which is fun.
Do you ever go to softball games? Whether it's like the Badgers or, I mean, I don't really know
I
what else.
have never been to a Badger game actually. Like I'll go and watch because I have like a ton of friends like from travel ball that I'll go and watch if I can. But it's kind of hard in the spring since we're always playing. But
Yeah.
I've gone like this past spring. I went to watch like my high school play because they were down in Kenosha, which is where Parkside is. But I want to go to one of the Athletes Unlimited game. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that league, but they're kind of starting to take off, which I think would be pretty cool to go and see.
Is that where they score points individually
It
and
is,
stuff?
but they're switching it up this year, so it's more like a kind of a traditional league where they have like actual teams. So there's 4 teams right now. So but next year I think they're starting where they have like actual like home fields and like home teams, which is fun.
How does Jasmine like coach you guys after you get blown out? Like, how does she keep you guys like positive and in the right mindset after you lose by 15 runs or something?
Yeah, I mean I think that's kind of a tough spot for any coach like to kind of be in, but I think she does a really good job. She's very similar to myself, and I'm for sure a lot of girls on the team, but she's super competitive. You can tell she's she's not very happy, as no one is after they get blown out. A lot of the times it was kind of like how we approach the game and like our energy going into the game, and that's kind of like it kind of started from like before the game started, and kind of like she talked to us like kind of flipping that around. But one thing that she does really well is that like she doesn't dwell on the games or anything like that, so like she'll talk to us after the game and say whatever needs to be said, but then like once we leave the dugout, once we're on the bus, like it's over, which is super awesome, like, especially in a summer league where you're kind of there to get better and like get reps. Like it's really nice to have a coach who kind of doesn't like get on you after that.
Yeah, so I should probably know this, but I don't. How do the playoffs work with Northwoods League softball since there's only 5 teams?
So last season there actually was not a playoff.
Okay.
There were no playoffs. It was just Mankato won last year because they were the regular season winners, so they kind of just won the league. I think this year it's a 3-game series between the top 2 teams. I think it's like the first week of August. I'm pretty sure. So we're hoping to be one of those teams, which I think we definitely have the ability to be.
So with the schedule and how you guys play in the Northwoods League, did you start preparing differently for games than you would in college? because you play so many more games?
I wouldn't say that like I prepare for the games differently. I would say it's a little bit different in the fact that like I'll go in the morning and like do a lift. You know, we have a packet that we have to keep up with like for Parksides. I would say that's a little bit different. Like the games being at night's a little bit different. So, like I'm able to wake up a little bit later, which is kind of nice too, instead of like super early in the morning. I would say like probably when I eat, it's a little bit different too, just because like we're eating like through dinner time kind of, and like we're preparing for the games. But other than that, it's kind of similar.
Have you been able to go to some Woodchucks games? I know we saw you there the other night.
Yeah. We were at that game the other day. I'm not sure what day that was, but
Friday
um,
night, I believe, against Green Bay.
yeah. And then we were at the game on the 6th when we all got there. Pretty much the whole team was there. So been to a couple games.
And what do you think of those?
They're pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, if we had more time, I would like to go to a couple more games. But yeah, they're pretty fun, and the environment there is pretty cool too.
How do you feel about playing on the turf at Athletic Park versus dirt?
So the turf, I'm not sure if like I know you guys have like baseball players on, but I'm not sure how much they've talked about it. The turf in Wausau is a little bit different than normal turf. I think I've been told that it's olive pits instead of rubber. Yeah, so it's a little bit different, and honestly, it kind of hurts to slide on. So
Yeah.
I've honestly been trying to avoid that, but it's a little bit different like playing so like when I play third I feel like the hops are a little bit more true rather than like a turf. I feel like it's real like it comes off really hot. So I mean that's nice. I know Kaylee Kinzinger, she's a slapper, so I don't think she likes it because it's not super bouncy. So but it's been good so far.
Do you play on turf in college?
What'd you say?
Do you play on turf in college?
At Parkside, we have dirt, but a lot of the teams in our conference have turf infield.
So was there a lot of change when you played on this different type of turf that Athletic Park has?
It's a little bit different, but like we get like ground balls like before, like in pregame, which I think you can kind of like adjust and kind of read the hops off of that, just like in pregame stuff. Like we were in Madison the other day, and that stuff was coming off really really fast. So it was definitely different playing there rather than in Wausau.
Are all the fields turf in the Northwoods?
Yeah. So in order to like be able to have a softball team, I think you had to have a turf infield at least in infield. So yeah. So I think the only one that is full turf for softball is Minot, I believe, and Mankato.
Is there one team in the Northwoods League that plays with a dirt mound on the softball field?
There is, yeah. Lacrosse has a dirt baseball mound on the field, which is not
And how's
super
that?
awesome. Not super awesome. So we were there, I believe, on Monday this past week, and it was pretty rainy up there. I mean, it's honestly rained like pretty much every day we played, which hasn't been awesome, but
Yeah.
and the dirt was just like getting everywhere, and it was kind of annoying, but I mean, obviously, what are you gonna do?
They only have 2 wins, so maybe they should switch that up.
Yeah, yeah, maybe,
Oh.
maybe that would help them a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked to Jasmine and told her we were going to have you on. I think it was after the first game. And she said that you were doing the majority of like the interviews. Was that a change for you, or have you done a lot of that in the past?
I haven't done like I've been doing a little bit more here, obviously, than I'm used to. But like I've done a couple at Parkside, which is nice to have like some background and experience in it. But yeah, it's definitely been a lot more than I'm used to.
So I know you said you were going to school for sports management. What would be your ultimate goal to do with a degree like that?
Yeah, so the ultimate goal, like if I could coach at like a high level, I would like to do that. Otherwise, just going into like something like some sort of business part of sports just being like involved still in sports, I think, is my ultimate like goal.
As far as like softball goes, like what are the opportunities after college?
So obviously there's not quite as many as baseball, I would say, or like as popular options. But like I mentioned before, the Athletes Unlimited League is starting to kind of trend upwards. So you have that. There is still like another professional softball league, which in my opinion, I feel like they shouldn't have that, and they should kind of put it all into one sort of league. But and then there is, I think, 2028 is the next Olympics. I think they're having softball there, so I mean that is also another option.
I think when we interviewed Jasmine, she said she had the chance to go overseas to play, but she couldn't move away from her family that far away. Would you ever think about that?
Sure, I mean, I haven't really thought about it, but I mean, if the opportunity was there, I mean, I wouldn't like turn it down right away for sure, but it would I would definitely have to put a lot of thought into it, but I wouldn't turn it down right away.
So that is something you'd want to do, continue playing after college if it presents itself.
If the opportunity was there, I would. I mean, I would probably play softball for the rest of my life if I could, but
Yeah.
obviously that is not realistic. But yeah, I mean, if it was there, I would for sure love to continue playing.
Do you have like a pregame routine that you follow every game?
Not really. Um, I'm not really a superstitious person, which is kind of like out of the ordinary for baseball and softball. But yeah, I don't really have like a set routine or anything like that. Kind of just I'm a super huge like go with the flow person, so I think that probably is part of it too.
So you don't have like a pregame meal that you have to eat every day or something like that.
No, no. I mean, I do. My teammates kind of make fun of me because I make a peanut butter and honey sandwich, but I just feel like it tastes good.
Yeah. So you're obviously a really good hitter. Can you hit a baseball? Like, are you good at that, or
um, I mean, I could if I had a bat, I would definitely touch the baseball. Like I can't say that I would get like a base hit, but I would definitely like touch it. Like I did mention before, I played baseball, but I mean, that was up until I was like 12, so that was a long time ago now. But a couple years ago, my sophomore year of college, we did take at bats against some baseball pitchers. Um, it was honestly hard because the baseball bat was so much heavier than the softball bat. I was just like so far behind.
Do you guys use aluminum or are they some other type of material in the Northwoods League?
So we have to use Easton Ghost bats, which are composite bats.
So now a question. I know you and your brother aren't pitchers, but
Mhm.
say you each pitch to each other with softball and a baseball. Are you getting a hit off your brother with a baseball?
That's a good question. He was a pitcher,
Hmm.
back in when he was like in middle school. So I would like to say I would probably get a hit, but like I said, the bat is so much heavier. It's so different. But I would like to say I would get a hit.
Now, could you strike him out being a pitcher with a softball?
No. No. If I was pitching baseball, like maybe I could because I would probably be so much slower than he's used to. But if I was pitching softball, I probably couldn't even make it to the plate, to be honest.
could could you hit one of the Woodchucks pitchers? Like if you had 10 pitches, let's say you're using your bat too, not the.
Using my bat, I could probably I feel like I could probably get a hit for sure.
That's awesome.
Do you have like one song that just gets you in the mode to go out there and just play ball? It gets you in the zone.
That's a good question. My music taste really kind of changes like from like week to week, but it's kind of a basic one. Like but it's I feel like it's like a classic like "Nice for What" by Drake.
Like
Oh,
it.
I feel like that
we
one.
love
Yeah.
Drake.
Yeah, I mean that song is just good anytime. I feel like.
Yeah, we love Drake. This is definitely a Team Drake podcast.
Oh yeah, good, good. I actually
Yeah.
went a couple years ago. My friend and I went to see him in Milwaukee. He was at the where the Bucks play, so he was
Oh,
pretty
sick.
cool in concert.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. We've been wondering this, but nobody's been able to give us an answer. Why is the softball yellow or safety green or whatever color you want to call it.
Um,
Do you know?
I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, it would probably be like visibility reasons, like just so you can see the ball better. But again, I don't know that for sure.
I think that's a good guess.
Yeah.
We'll find out someday.
Yeah, someday.
All right, Danny, got anything else?
I don't think so. You can do the
All right.
final question here.
We ask every guest this, so I'll leave you with this question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I personally, I don't think so. I feel like a hot dog is just something separate.
We agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Jasmine said it was.
Yes,
'Cause,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like the first 5 guests we had all said yes, and like the last
6.
5 or 6 have all said no. So,
Really? Yeah.
and that's our answer. No, it's not a hot dog or a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us and coming on the pod. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a successful rest of the Northwoods League.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hope you guys can come out to a couple games.
Yeah, we'll see you at Athletic
Yeah,
Park
we'll try.
for sure. All
Yep.
right.
Thanks for coming on. We'll see you.
Yeah. Thanks, Mia.
Bye.